Yo. What is up, everybody? How you guys doing, man? Coronavirus 2020. Fuck 2020. Anyways, listen. What's up? This is the Smoky Section with your host, Big Corpse. You know, bringing you, as always, the hottest topics and fire conversation for that ass and for your listening enjoyment. Listen, man, I'm really out here trying to get back on my hustle and bustle. I'm looking at my screen time every single day, and I did a podcast on this recently, talking about, being slaves to our screen time, and I'm really trying to find a good balance of hustle, right, on the phone, on the IG with my business and everything, reading emails, all the shit, and finding that business, excuse me, finding that balance of also like when to chill, relax, put the phone down, take a load off. Rub one out. But in all seriousness, really finding that time, in balance and the good work-life happiness balance. So I want to first off say thank you to everybody who's been listening, because I'm really out here trying to grind. Again, today's episode is brought to you by an Instagram submission. So please, if you guys, I'm going to try to do these like every 2 to 3 days, especially while we're like on this quarantine lockdown. So if you want to have your topic talked about, if you want to have your topic heard, hit me up on IG at Corpse, KORPSX, to get your idea out there. Yeah. And you never know, you might be on an episode, shout you out. Yeah. Help me, help you, help me, help you. In today's submission, or this episode's submission, better yet, is about something that I hold very, very dear to me. Yeah, and something that I've kind of surrendered myself to and have really dedicated these past few years of my life to, and it's about Krump. Yeah, Krump, Krump. For those who don't know, Krump is a street dance style that was birthed out of South Central LA. Taking a toke of some of this fire day. Just Jack Herrera. Shout out localface.org. If you're in Ventura County, hit them up. You got some bomb bud. But yeah, no, they Krump was created by Tight Eyes, yeah, and this other guy by the name of Miho, who were the two main creators of this style, who of course was helped and uplifted and had pioneers around them, people, just to name a few: Slayer, Prissy, Little C, Goofy, who else? Tampico, and there's a lot of more people, but those are some big names right there. Rapture, Hitman, Solo, Riot, Crush, and I mean those guys kind of came a little bit after the beginning of Krump, but these guys helped pioneer the movement, pushed it forward. Bad News, who else? J-Slot, T-Slay. I mean, the list goes on. I'm just naming just a few. So please, Goliath, so please don't get mad if one of you hear this and don't, like, oh, my name wasn't mentioned, I was there from the beginning. I know, I'm sorry, all right? But there's only so much time I got to record this shit. So Krump is a style that got birthed out in South Central LA, and it's really weird how I'm about to describe it, but the way that I've watched Krump history, it seems as if this is a mutation off of clown dancing, right? So if you've ever seen clown dancing, like the party dances that was put on by Tommy the Clown, if you've ever seen it, then you've more than likely seen some of the OGs of Krump, yeah? And these guys were all doing the clowning together, and then they slowly began to create their own style out of that, which then became Krump. Krump is a more of an aggressive style. It definitely has a lot of raw emotion and raw just feeling behind everything that happens. Yeah, and today's topic was a question that was asked was, why does Krump look like fighting? Right? And to the untrained eye, right? To the untrained eye, Krump looks kind of spasmodic It does look like as if you could be fighting, like you're fighting the air. But once you are around the style enough, once you are around people who can display Krump at a very high level, mature manner, you begin to dissect it and see that it's not exactly fighting. Some people are, it's an expression. There's an expression. Now, some of the basic foundations of this dance style are jabs and arm swings. Yeah, and those are movements of our arms. Yeah, and a jab, it's not throwing a jab in the exact same way that a boxer would, right? Because there's a technicality difference between the two, right? So the mechanics of a boxer wouldn't be the same mechanic of a Krump dancer, even though they're both using jabs. For example, technicality difference. Yeah, the mechanic of a boxer is going forward. Yeah, from the shoulder forward, right? And that's the only direction in which it could really go, right? Or unless you shift a level and hit to the body, but you're still only going forward. Now, with a Krump dancer, we could throw jabs forward, straight down, straight up, to the left, to the right. Yeah, with our right arm, left arm. Yeah, they can cross, they can, extend and come back doing a circle motion, which you wouldn't see with a boxer, right? They could, they could shoot out one direction and then ricochet 5 different directions before it follows through and comes back to the body. So, like I was saying, to the untrained eye, Krump may look like you're fighting this invisible man or a little spasmatic, but little do people know that when this dancer is in their zone and they're in their pocket, right, that dance pocket, and they're hitting all these different moves and all these different angles, there's a lot of things being shown, the levels, the angles in which they're moving, you know what I mean, like the point A to the point B of when this movement stops. Like there's a lot going on in between that gray area. Yeah, the A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the B1. Does that make sense, everybody? Also, to answer the question is, why would it look like fighting? Every day, right? And this is how I can kind of tie it into something that I've been trying to be more aware of, which is mental health and our mental stability and mental wellness. Is every day we deal with mental battles, whether they're, childhood traumas or just stress from work, or, fuck, you forgot your lunch at the house, now you gotta go buy stuff, and whatever it may be. There's a lot that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and like I was saying earlier, I see expression. So it may look like you're fighting because there's this demon inside, there's all this pent-up aggression and this hostility, this anger and frustration that we have built up inside of us, and when we release it, we're releasing this in the only ways that we know how. Right? Now, go back to the beginning of Krump. You have some teenage young black men from South Central LA, late 90s, early 2000s, who are creating and pioneering the style. They were pissed off. A lot of them were pissed off about their living situation. Yeah, a lot of the pioneers and even the creators of Krump, lived a life with gang activity. Whether they were in gangs or grew up around the gangs or lived on the same street as the gangs. If you've ever lived that life, if you've ever been near that life, it's all that you know. Like, the neighborhood I grew up in Oxnard. Oxnard's not that big of a city, but we have a lot of gangs. And if you live near one person who's in a gang, that means you at least see 5 to 6 other gang members, right? Because they always kick it at their pads, and over here you've borrowed sugar from their house. Yeah, so you've seen that lifestyle, right? I hung out with gangbangers. I participated and had my own stint, which is a story for a different time. But so with Krump, when you live in that lifestyle, for these guys, this was their one way to express it. So a hard jab, and an arm swing was their only way that they could release this tension that they had built up inside of themselves. Me, I'll speak on my own behalf. When I dance, I dance to express myself in a way in which I can interpret, right? So Corpse, for example, Corpse is based off of Harry Potter and Voldemort and Dementors and Boggarts, right? The dark art. Yeah, I feel that dance to me is like this dark art, right? Like it's this dark magical art, and it's just, you know, you can entrance somebody, make them do what you want, and you could portray this evil feeling, right? So for me, I have this style, right, where I'm releasing all the bad, right? And sometimes I have to manifest into this bad, right? If you've ever read or watched the Harry Potter movies or read the books, a boggart turns in, if you lay your eyes on a boggart, it turns into whatever you fear most. So I used to use that concept and sublimate it onto my issues, right? So I would turn into the mean, evil boss that I had at work, or my coworker who's been pissing me off, right? Or, you know, I'm yelling at my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, you know, and getting it out, you know? Or maybe I just want to hit something because, I don't know, I'm a man and I have this pent-up aggression inside of me that needs to be released. Yeah? So it looks like fighting because it almost is like we're fighting, but then we're not, right? We're releasing, and this release is the fighting that we have to endure every day, right? Whether we're fighting for good, you know, fighting for our family, yeah, you know, and sometimes it's not always bad. Sometimes there's good moments that we have to fight for too, that we fought for, right? For example, like when my son was born, my dancing was in a really different place. I was dancing and I was going real hard, right? Like real fucking hard, and I just couldn't explain it, but it was just this joy that I felt from his birth. It was something I had fought for so long. So it was almost like a victory war dance every single time I stepped on the floor. It was like as if I had beaten an army, you know, single-handedly. You know, the army of 300 versus the great army of the Persian Empire. You know, like I stood there, I would dance, and these movements are happening because it's like I fought this great battle, and like it's like I'm telling you my story of this great battle that I endured, and it came out victorious. Yeah, very, very philosophical and very emotional. If you guys can connect with me, if you guys can really go there with me, yeah, like I could take you on a ride, yeah. Krump to me is an exchange as well. Yeah, and this is something that a lot of the OGs and pioneers and vets and heavy hitters and even rookies, like we all talk about. Like there's this exchange that happens, right? Like I give you this part of me, right? My dance moves. This is this part of me and part of my soul that I'm now giving out to you. You watch it, you like it, you cheer, right? That's something that we have in Krump is called the hype. Right? It's when we're cheering and we're hyping up this dancer, and because we're delivering this energy back to them, right? And there becomes this exchange because I take that energy in as the dancer, right? I take it in and it fuels me. I throw it back at you. You take it in, it fuels you. You throw it back to me in the form of hype, and there's this exchange now, right? And I had said this once, and it came to me hella crazy. But I remember saying it, and I continue to say this, is that Krump, there's this exchange of energy, right? The back and the forth, right? Like all great things. This relationship of an exchange, the student and the pupil, right? The rain to the river, right? The love of a parent and child, right? All that leads back to each other in a cycle, right? And so just like a fight, like when you're watching a fist fight, there's always that small crowd of people like, oh, right around these two people as they're throwing blows. It's the same thing with Krump. They come real close and they want to have that energy. They cheer you on like a gladiator, right? And I want that energy. I want that. Yeah. Especially, there's been some sessions I've been to and times I've danced where there was a lot of pain in the room. Like we lost somebody from the movement, or I'm standing and I'm looking at my friend who I know is hurting. And when he begins to cheer me on, I understand that even in that cheering, there's that release of his pain. So I take on that pain myself. I take it and we share it for that moment. Does that make sense? That's something I continue to preach is give me that pain. Let me share it with you. And I will give you mine. And you can share it with me. Right? That no matter what race, no matter what age, color, or creed, that in this moment when we're dancing and we're doing this thing called Krump, we share that. Yeah, so there's a fight even there. There's a fight for that understanding, right? So to the untrained eye, it may seem like we're just throwing our arms and we're going boombastic on this shit, but it's not that. There's a lot of intent, especially when you get into the more skilled dancers. There's a lot of intent, there's a lot of storytelling happening, right? But you just have to train your eye to see it, right? And yeah, Krump is still very high-paced, and high volume, and high intensity, and raw emotion, and you still have all of that. But now it has become mature to the point to where if you also mature your eyes and also train your eyes to see it, you'll understand the expression of every single person. I can tell what kind of day my boy is having just by the rounds he's dishing out. I can ask him, hey dog, you got something on your mind? Hey, what's up with you? Sometimes guys are getting straight to the point because they're ready to dance. And I can see that in them. Say, oh, okay, you ready to dance? Well, okay, we're getting buck out here, all right. You know what I mean? And we all have those days too, whether it's in dance or out of dance. There's some days we wake up on the right side of the bed. There's days we wake up on the wrong side. Yeah, and it just takes time to understand why. Just like if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you're all grouchy and shit. You hit that moment and you're like, dude, why am I mad? Why am I so frustrated? Right? And we do the exact same thing learning Krump. It just looks like they're mad. They're just angry and throwing their body around. But then as you begin to, sit with it for a little bit longer, you say, okay, this is why he's moving like that. This is why she's dancing like this. Okay, I understand now. Right? I understand. So why does Krump, to answer your question, why does Krump look like fighting? Because of a lack of understanding. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Just, I encourage more people to try to go out and understand it. Yeah. Why the battles feel the way they do. Why the sessions have the energy that they do. It's all an exchange of our expression of the things that we deal with, whether they're good, bad, pretty, or ugly. Yeah. Man, this is really a topic I can go on for hours about, because it's just something I love so much. But I'm gonna leave you guys with this. I'm gonna leave you with this little snippet. Right? Is that Krump was made by the gods. Right? This is my own philosophy. Krump was created by the gods and used the creators of the style as a vessel to do his work. Right? So they also say God never leads you to anything that he can't lead you through. So are these movements also a replication of everything that he's been through, therefore being channeled through us, and this is how we're manifesting it? If you've never crumped, but you got in a circle and started crumping, whose movements are those? Are they yours or are they God's? Is it you speaking your expression or is it him speaking his? right? Where does it come from? I have stood side by side with both Tight Eyes and Big Miho, the main creators of Krump. I've stood beside them. I've battled in front of them, sessioned with them, talked and laughed. I slept in Tight Eyes' house for 5 days and trained with him. So these are very human people, you know? But we gotta look at it like, yo, are you a vessel of God? Are we all vessels of God? You know? Like, I've stood beside these guys and be like, holy shit, they created a dance style. Like, something that, you know, this isn't just an American thing. It's not an LA thing. People do this all over the country and all over the world. Australia, New Zealand, Korea, Japan, France, Madagascar, right? Every continent has Krump in it. Russia has Krump in it. Russia, okay? Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, India, Philippines. I can keep going. Everywhere. It's everywhere. And just like, you know, just like prophets of the past, just like all the great prophets of the past, these two men and many other men amongst them and women amongst them help spread this style, right? So we gotta ask. I ask myself, whose story am I speaking today? Whose name am I uplifting while I turn on this music and start dancing? Is it my own? Is it the man standing beside me? Is it the woman standing beside me? Is it the people standing across from me? Because even when we battle, afterwards we hug, you know? And so is it really fighting? These are the questions we need to ask. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Yeah, it's a really good topic, and I'm really excited that somebody asked about it. So listen, if you enjoy it, hit me up on Instagram at Korpsx, KORPSX. Yeah, let me know what you think. And dude, listen, you guys stay safe during the quarantine. Everybody just stay home, enjoy your family, enjoy some good quality time. But until next time, yeah, I'm going to be hollering at you guys. I hope that you guys have a good day, week, month, year, and life. I'll be hollering at you, all right? See you on the flip side. Stay motivated. Bye! Yo, what up, everybody? I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. It would mean the absolute world to me, and I mean the world to me, if you guys could just retweet, share it, tell your friends about it, and hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you guys are listening to this to. Again, it would mean the world, man, and I truly appreciate every single one of you. All right? Have a blessed day.